Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady. Welcome back in episode 3 of 5 in the series of Preparing to Fill a Job Opening with or without a recruiter. We are going to be discussing screening and shortlisting here with Donna Beckett, our recruiting expert. Hello, welcome back.
Hi.
Hey, talk to our listeners about how they can streamline the interviewing process.
All right. Well, this is really, really important. So you want to get customized questions based on a job expectation and the description of who you're trying to hire. So you want to figure out key points when you're asking individuals to uncover if this person fits or not. You can use AI also to help.
Yeah, our good friend AI, my goodness. Hey, JC actually introduced me to ChatGPT when it was coming out. And I was like, let me go check it out. I was like, I'm addicted now. And I teach people how to use it for HR and management and recruiting. And you know, a lot of the things that come out of it, like I'm an expert at these items, so I just QC it and go, oh, this is spot on. And that just took 30 seconds to do versus probably would have took me 30 hours with all the interruptions. So, you know, I think what you're saying is make sure that when you're creating that job description, which you're going to use the job description then to create a job ad. Remember, folks, a job ad is half HR, half marketing. You can't just copy and paste your job description and throw it into the job ad because that's boring. People want to know a little bit about your company, where they can go to find more information. It's a sales tool. But I would say at that time when you're creating the job ad, that's when you should create the interview questions, right? Get them done in advance.
Yes.
And then if you have a committee, for example, or just a group of people that are going to be involved in this and filling this role, get them to QC the questions.
Absolutely.
Geez, because maybe we don't know everything and our team forgot to tell us something that we changed technology.
Because maybe teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I love it. I love it. What are some, key screening questions that you suggest for people?
So obviously you want to go through their work history, right? Asking them, reasons why they left positions, why they're interested in working for your company is a big one. See if they're passionate about what your product is or what your service is, because that's a huge green flag.
Yeah.
If somebody is so excited about your organization, that's a really, really important aspect. If you want to bring somebody in that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. And even if they don't have all the skills, if the skills are transferable, like we were talking about before, or if they are skills that can be taught, even though it's going to annoy you, if you have an amazing candidate and they're just missing 1 or 2 skills that are too difficult to get, even if it's a 6-month training program, I mean, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
They want to work for me. And this is the easiest interview process ever. So I mentioned, kind of having a team or committee of people that are going to be involved, not just in the interviewing process, but that are going to be working with these folks. I love committees. I love working with committees. I love getting all hands on deck and saying, hey, we're the HR department over here. We're the management department, and we really don't know everything. So help us out here. What should we be looking for? Why did previous people fail in this role? I don't know, ask your employees, what do we need instead of just shoving information down their throat?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, are there questions that people shouldn't be asking in an interview? Maybe illegal questions?
Yeah.
How about age?
Definitely avoid that.
Yeah. The only time you should be asking about age is if it's a job that the law of that state, county, or city requires a certain age, such as serving alcohol. There might be a different, but you might have to be 18, might have to be 21. It depends where you're located. What other things should you not be asking about? Oh, do you think a man or a woman is better for this job?
This one makes me cringe.
be surprised though. I know you and I together have shared many clients, and when we're educating the clients to say, no, you can't ask that question, or I have a giant list of acceptable and unacceptable questions to ask during an interview, they go, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, it's it's the new age here. It's not 1960 anymore. You can't be asking that question. Little side note that I wanted to just say is about if you're asking people about their arrests and convictions, make sure that you realize that arrests don't matter. Even if you're Judgy Judgerson over here and you're judging people that they've been arrested, if they've been convicted, that's all that matters. Now, we won't have a lot of time to get into this today, but there are many states now that say you can't even ask about convictions until you give a conditional job offer. So folks, look that up as well. Do you have suggest any assessments tools for folks to use when they're interviewing or deciding on candidates, internal or external?
Yeah. Aren't you certified in DISC?
Yes, my favorite topic. So folks, if you have not heard about DISC before, it is a derivative of Myers-Briggs. It's a personality style assessment. And so it's just a much smaller version. And, I would 100% suggest doing some kind of assessment for your folks. Just make sure it's legal. I am certified in DISC. I would never suggest to anybody to do any kind of personality style assessment to select somebody, but afterwards, after they've been offered the job and they accept it, say, okay, now we're going to do this personality assessment, just so that we make sure we understand who you are and we can change our communication. Are there any skills-based tests out there? You don't need to name any names.
I mean, I think it would depend on if you have a job that involves math, like they need to be able to math.
Yeah. So how about you give them, hey, tell me a time when this happened, or what is this, or here's just a little test here. Just be careful of creating tests on your own. JC?
Approximately 60% of U.S. companies use assessment tools like DISC to evaluate candidates' personality traits, and it helps predict job fits. And what that does is help aim to improve hiring accuracy and reduce turnover. Back to you.
So figure out, folks, what type of assessment you will do, if it's legal, and when you should do it. And, regardless of what the results are, up in front, when you're planning ahead of time, what are you going to use it for? And when are you going to make that decision-making factor? So thanks, everybody, for listening to episode 3 of our 5-part series on preparing to fill a job opening with or without a recruiter. As a reminder, Aurora Training Advantage subscribers can earn HRCI and SHRM credits for listening to this series on the HR Empowerment Podcast channel. Just go to auroratrainingadvantage.com/podcast. And be sure to check out the plethora of webinar topics, including effective onboarding for increasing employee retention and engagement. That'll be hosted on December 11th. You can check that out on the Aurora website as well. In our next episode, we're going to cover more on interviewing and closing the deal. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.